Hello there, welcome everyone to another beer garden, joined by Shireen, of course, and we're looking forward to Goodwood, glorious Goodwood, the Goodwood Festival, should I say.
Yes.
How are you, Shireen? How's things?
Yeah, I think everything is going quite well recently. In the summer break time in Hong Kong, actually last year, it was our first time to watch the glorious Goodwood Festival in Hong Kong. And now this will be the second year. So I think that most of the Hong Kong racing fans are more familiar with the Goodwood racecourse. So we are quite looking forward to it.
Sounds good. It's on my bucket list. I've never been to glorious Goodwood, should I say Goodwood,
Oh,
and it's really on the south coast. It's down at a place called Chichester,
yeah.
and it's an area of England that I've always wanted to go to. So hopefully one day. But I want to go everywhere. I want to go and I want to come and see you in Shatin and Happy
Yeah,
Valley.
sure. Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I want to travel
yeah.
everywhere.
Yes, be fantastic, wouldn't it? We should do a world tour one day.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're looking at racing. We're looking at days 1 and 2, are we not? Day 1 and day 2. The feature race on day 1 is the Goodwood Cup, and on day 2 it's the Sussex Stakes. And we're also looking ahead. We're also looking at bets that we're placing as well, horses that we like to win. But we'll start off with race number 4 on day 1. It's the Goodwood Cup, and it's over the 2 miles. It's a cracking looking race. And you're picking, I think, a very sensible selection. Who are you going for, Serene?
Yeah, in the Goodwood Cup, I'm going to pick number 4, Crepios. He is quite a good horse recently. We saw him winning the Ascot Gold Cup last month. And also for the Goodwood Cup over this 2 mile distance, it is quite complicated, the track. First of all, the horse need to turn left after jumping from the gate and then turn right again with the sharp turn. So maybe the horses and the jockeys, they have to well balance to race over such a tough track. And I believe that Criprios, because he already have the experience in Ireland to for the left turn, and also he also proved himself also suitable for the right turn. So maybe the turn is also not a big challenge for him, and he definitely have the class, just like his victory in the Ascot Gold Cup. It was really impressive. So this time, moving back to 2 miles, I believe he is able to win it back to back. But of course, there are so many good rivals here, including Stradivarius or Trushan, if he will not be scratching. So it would be quite an interesting race in the Gold Cup. So we are very looking forward to it. And I will go for number 4, Crepios.
So there we go. Kyprios for Serene, number 4. I think you've just summed it up perfectly. I think it's the logical selection. He's an up and coming horse. He's improving. Comes from Aidan O'Brien, right? What more do you want? Well, I always feel a little bit silly here. I've gone for Stradivarius, and but is he past his best? Is he as good as he was? He probably isn't. But I just thought it's part sentimental. He's been such a wonderful horse, and he's still very capable, isn't he? He's still a very good horse. He won this in 2017, 18, 19, and 20, so he really knows the track well. And as I say, the smart money is on Kyprios, Serene smart money. But I'm a sentimentalist, and Strad, he's such a nice horse, and he was definitely unlucky in the Gold Cup. Frankie just didn't get a good run that day, and I think Frankie Dettori, he kind of deflected the blame off himself and sort of said, "Well, Strad isn't maybe the horse or the horse he was." But I've watched that many times, and I think it would have been very close had he, had Frankie stayed where he was on the rail and got an inside run. I think it would have been very close because Kyprios was already really set for home and really being pushed hard when Frankie was still angling for room. So I think it's a very interesting race. I'll take Stradivarius. There is a bit of sentimentality involved, but he's still a very, very capable horse. As you say, Trushan, if he doesn't scratch, is an interesting horse. And so is Coltrane, another nice horse trained by Andrew Balding and trying to land a hat trick under Rob Hornby. So just to recap, it's the big race of the day, the Al Shakab Goodwood Cup Stakes, and Shireen is picking quite sensibly, I think, number 4, Kyprios, and I'll go for number 6, Stradivarius. And then there is every chance that Kyprios can improve even more and win by further, but I'll just go for something rather romantic and pick Stradivarius. So who do you also like? Do you have any other selections for day 1?
Yes, I do. I do have another two bets in on the day one of the Glorious Goodwood Festival. Maybe talking about the first of all will be the opener in race one. I quite like the horse number 15, Caradoc, because Hong Kong racing fans may be quite familiar with this Silk. Mr. Seal, the owner, also owns many good horses around the world, and of course in Hong Kong. He already owned the Time War, several Group 1 winners here. And also Caradoc, he is quite consistent over this course and distance, including last year in the same race over the heavy track, he went second. And earlier in April, when he just breaking the gates quite slow and then show a great turn of foot to run second, I believe he is quite familiar with the Goodwood course. And also the good or even good to firm ground is also not a problem for him. So this time breaking from gates 5, I believe that if he breaks well, he can stay in a great position. So I'm looking forward to Caradoc, who is able to show a great turn of foot in the home stretch. And I think that Steve, you also like this horse, right?
Yes, I do. It made me laugh when I saw the selection come through. I also went there. Yes, race number 1, the Coral Chesterfield Cup Handicap. Very nice horse. He's 7 years old, but he hasn't really had that much miles on the clock. He's had 4 wins in 21 starts. Isn't a great deal for a 7-year-old. And as you say, he was second in this race last year of a £2 higher mark. And I liked his run last time when he was a little unlucky in the John Smith's Cup at York. Gate 5 is good. He's been second twice over course and distance. The last time he was runner-up was under today's jockey, Richard Kingscote, and he's now a pound lower than his last success, which was over this trip at Newmarket. And in time-wise, it's nearly 3 years without a win. He's gone a long time without a win, but it's only 12 races. It's not there are many a longer losing run than 12 runs. So I think it's a good chance. I like the trainer, I like the jockey, I like Caradoc's chance. So that's my only selection on race 1. Do you like anything else on the first day at Goodwood?
Yes, and also in the second race, it will be the Group 2 over 7 furlong, the Vintage Stakes. I quite like number 3, Dear My Friend. Actually, I like him since he was a yearling. Actually, my family now living in UK, and I picked this horse for them, and we are now the park owner of this horse. We own 25% of the horse. So it is such a joy to see that we can watch him from Hong Kong to see him racing, especially in such a big occasion. And Dear My Friend, of course, his form is quite good. I think 2 from 2 being unbeaten. First of all, when he made his debuts over Carlisle, he break the gates quite slow. However, he showed a great turn of foot in the home stretch to win it. And however, last time out, he moved to Beverley for his second up. He just changed the tactic to lead. And I didn't expect that he can win by 5 lengths. It was really impressive for me and for my whole family. Actually, my whole family are quite nervous recently to can't wait to see him participate in the Group 2. And of course, going to Goodwood is a challenge for him. However, I believe that he is quite consistent horse, and he's now seeking for a hat trick. And also 1400 meters, the 7 furlong is definitely suitable for him. And also this time he will also be ridden by Franny Norton. Again, last time out we see that the jockey rode him so well. So I believe if he breaks well, he can also take the lead, because there are not many speed in race 2, the Vintage Stakes. So maybe Dear My Friend can also, we hope that we can see him lead till the end and still remain unbeaten. So of course we will, all of my family will be cheering for number 3, Dear My Friend, in race 2, and I will also put my bet on him.
You've convinced me. I'm having a bet.
Yeah, really? That's great horse.
That sounded so on the money that I'm going to just sell the house and put all my money on. That's great.
Oh, good.
Sounds very good. Yes. Well, maybe with all our combined money, we'll get him over the line in first.
I believe.
Hopefully. Just recap on day 1 then, the Goodwood Cup. So you are going for number 4, Kyprios. I will go for number 6, Stradivarius. Very close in the market, aren't they? Kyprios, the slight favourite, but there isn't much between the two of them, not forgetting the likes of Trushan as well, and also Coltrane. And then Shireen goes for two bets on race number 1. That is, like myself, in the Class 2 handicap, race 1, number 15, Caradoc. And then very, very family thing in the race 2, the Vintage Stakes, where I really, really hope that number 3, Dear My Friend, wins for you. It's funny, you were just saying about Caradoc being in the Time Warp colours.
Yes,
and right. I've been so busy these last few days, and I knew the colours were familiar. So I was looking up Explosive Witness, I was looking Seventh Heavens, I was looking at Metro Warrior. And they're all
also
similar.
From his family, right? That's
Are
right.
they really?
Yeah.
Yes, because I'd forgotten about Time Walk, which was a fantastic horse in the past, wasn't it?
Yes, but, definitely.
I mean, what did Time Walk win? He won loads of races.
Yes,
in
a great horse in Hong Kong.
Yeah. And I was looking at all these other ones, the Seventh Heavenly Witness, and I thought, they look similar. They've got the same stripes, but the arms are different this time. But you're right. It belongs to the families, but just slightly different. Wow, that's interesting.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, it is. It's fantastic. Which I would never have known had I not got so much into Hong Kong racing.
Yeah. That's good.
It is. So we're on now to day 2. It's the race 4. It's the Qatar Sussex Stakes. It's the Group 1 part of the British Champions Series. It's hard to get away from a very obvious horse. Who do you like in this, Shireen?
Yeah. I agree. I know which horse you're talking about. I'm sure that is number 1, Bait. Actually, it is quite a shame that Corobus just stretched and we are not able to see the competition between Bait and Corobus. But no worries. Whenever Bait is racing in any race, the race must be interesting, because as being the highest rated horse in the world, he is able to show another good show to us. And I believe that Bait this time will be seeking for his 9th consecutive winner. And I believe that with the Goodwood experience last year, winning the Group 3, the race courses, the cost and the trip will not be a problem for him. And he's side by the great horse, See the Stars. And starting from last year, October, winning the QE2 and then the Lockinge and the Queen Anne, this time participate in the Sussex. And also trainers also planning to participate this horse in the Jodemont International Stakes, just the same step for the mighty Franco. And I believe that by it, it's also able to do it. So I believe he is quite hard to beat. And however, if our audience, if you would like to bet a forecast or quinella, I suggest another horse in the Sussex Stakes will be number 7, Modern News. He is a 3-year-old, and in the Sussex Stakes, there are some 3-year-olds can also win this race. Of course, Franco and also Tornado, Kingman, the Gurkha, Two Down Horse, and El Khroufi. El Khroufi is also in the field this year. However, I think that Modern News, as a 3-year-old, he can definitely take the weight advantage. And also with the form 2 over 1 mile. And also he loves the good going. So breaking from gate 1 on Wednesday, I believe that Modern Games can also run close in the Sussex Stakes. So my selection in this race will be number 1, Bait, winning this race, and finishing second will be number 7, Modern Games.
So, Shireen, bookends the card. First selection, number 1, Bait, and as part of the forecast, number 7, Modern Games. Well, I agree, really. I think Bait got a great chance, unbeaten, 8 from 8, won his last 4 Group 1s, the Prix de Moulin at Longchamp, then the QE2 Stakes at Ascot, the Al Shakab Locking Stakes at York, and the Queen Anne. He just looks quite unbeatable, doesn't he? With William Haggis, Jim Crowley on board, drawn in 2. I think for the forecast, I'll be probably a little bit more obvious and go for alcohol free, because of course he won last year's renewal. And there's also like some Order of Australia who won the Romanised Minstrel Stakes, the Group 2 at the Curragh last time. But it does look like that we're looking for a horse to chase Bait home, doesn't it? He does look a really, really exciting horse. So we're both in agreement there in the feature race on day 2, the Qatar Sussex Stakes. What other bets do you like on race 2, Shireen? Oh, sorry, day 2?
Yeah, in day 2, I have another bet in race 3 that will be the Morecambe Stakes. I quite like the current favorites, number 4, Rocket Rodney. This race is a field of 8, and Rocket Rodney will be breaking from gate 8. Is supposed to be the best draw over the strict horse. And also under this jockey, Daniel Muscat, who knows the horse really well. This horse ran second in the Windsor Castle Stakes earlier in June in the Royal Ascot, and he was beaten by Little Big Bear, who is now already a Group 3 winner. So I really respect his form, the second in the Windsor Castle Stake. This time going back to Goodwood, going back to the late April, this horse broke maiden impressively here over this course and distance. He won by 4 lengths. And with such a good course and distance experience, I think it is quite important for a 2-year-old race. So Rocket Rodney already proved himself good at Goodwood, and I believe he's able to win again. So my another bet on day 2 will be number 4 Rocket Rodney in race 3.
So there we are, Shireen, race number 3 in the Molecombe Stakes, number 4 Rocket Rodney. Just to have a bit of parity, Shireen had 2 selections on day 1. I only had the 1, so I'll have 2 selections this time.
Oh.
And I will go to race number 1. And it's the Coral beaten by a length 3-bet Class 2 handicap over 1 mile and 4 furlongs, or 2,400 metres. I'm going for number 6, Surrey Mist, trained by George Baker, ridden by Holly Doyle, a lightly raced horse. He's won 2 from 6. Both of those wins have been on the all-weather, so nothing from 4 on turf, but a horse that's very capable on turf. He was narrowly beaten. He was in second at Newbury on his reappearance. And then I liked the 7th in the King George V Stakes at Royal Ascot. And he wasn't beaten far last time, back at 10 furlongs behind First Ruler. So that's my selection in race 1. And then I take you on, actually, in the Markhill Molecombe Stakes in race 3. And I go for Wallbank. So a bit of a competition there. It's a funny thing, I was looking at Wallbank. He caused a bit of the Riddler caused a shock in the Norfolk Stakes at Royal Ascot. He won at 50-1, and Wallbank was the beaten favourite. He was second. And I had a look at the Racing Post, and it says stumbled at the start. Well, I've watched this race many times, and I still can't see a stumble. So, and I've looked at the races and other play. I still can't see a stumble. So yeah. I don't know. Must have been some amazing powers of deception to see that, because I can't. Yeah. But I still think he ran very well. So just to confirm, on day 2, we're in agreement. Not surprisingly, I guess, in the big race of the day, the race for Qatar Sussex Stakes, we've both gone for by Eid. And then your selection in the second day, that is the Molecombe Stakes, race number 3, number 4 Rocket Rodney. And I, in that race, go for Wallbank. But in race number 1, I also have a selection, probably an each way selection, actually. It's a competitive race, there's many runners, and I'll go for number 6, Surrey Mist. So that's our selections for the first 2 days of Goodwood. Are we doing this again later?
Yes, we'll be doing it. And also we will have another special guest joining us.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, looking forward to that. Stay tuned.
Can they be any more special than us, though? That's the thing.
Yeah, it can be, I think.
Can it really? Yeah. Wow, looking forward to this. Right. Well, listen, thanks very much once again for listening to us. Thanks, Shireen, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. I hope whatever you pick, if you've picked our horses, pick something else, I hope you have a very nice time for the first 2 days at Goodwood. Till Wednesday, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.